We in things, we big boat. 7:28. If you're stuck in traffic, you've got us for company. So we're gonna help you pass the time, all right? Make sure you big up the police officers. You know, good morning, officer. Tell them I say good morning. Crashing, it's in the morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Nah, I don't like what's going on. Some stuff I need some answers for. We're going on with the CJ case.
Wait a man. You get that off your chest tomorrow. Hold on. Just a second there. Now, vaccines. If you're just joining us for your benefit, right? Dated the 23rd of February 2022 from the PSF Ministry of Health, Wellness and the Environment to the Chief Environmental Health Officer. Subject: permission to allow unvaccinated permanent sanitation workers who are off the job to show up for work. Based on instructions given to the ministry, please be advised that all permanent sanitation workers who are presently off the job having not taken the COVID-19 vaccine and are willing to return for work should be allowed to do so without the vaccine. Grateful if these workers can be informed accordingly. Signed, Permanent Secretary Cuthbert Knights.
So according to the memo, you could go back to work if you're not vaxxed.
But it says if they are willing to return to work. So if they don't want to, they don't have to.
But are they going to be paid for their time home?
Yes. Right? That is what they said. They will get the money. When the money comes into their account, it comes into their account. If you've been given the assurance that you're going to get back your money, the expectation is that they will be paid for the time that they spent at home. My first question is, if they do not want to go back to work, then what happens? Would that be them abandoning their job? Would they be paid severance?
How you going to abandon something when you're done the home?
No, remember, they are pretty much reversing. Because if you are going to get paid for the time that you were home, they're saying that they should never have been sent home. That is what they're saying. You know? Permission to allow unvaccinated permanent sanitation workers who are off the job to show up for work.
Keyword should not.
Should not, but were. Which means that they were on vacation without getting paid. So now they're going to be paid for the time that they were on vacation, that they didn't know that they were on vacation. Oh.
What I want to know is what has changed. What has changed? Why they revised it now? How you could come to work now without being vaccinated? After we had all these drives.
Sanitation workers.
After we had all these drives, take the vaccine. The vaccine is this. The vaccine is that.
What has changed is this.
You don't know.
How you know I was going to say that?
You don't know.
How you know I was going to say that?
You don't know and I don't know. We want to know what has changed.
I feel as though...
Right. Now you're going to say you feel.
I feel as though... I was going to say I feel as though, I was going to get there. I feel as though the positions, nobody filled them. So now the only alternative is to go back.
So we can't get sanitation workers because...
But why? They pay good.
You The thing is, remember, we were told if you don't want to take the vaccine, well, this was out for like the nurses and the doctors and
frontline workers.
Yes. I was just naming some names because I'm concerned about those persons as well who would have to wake up and then read something like this, who didn't take the vaccine.
So what about me? The me there that you are describing, what about me? Am I going to get back my job? Am I going to be paid for the time that I was home as well? But you see, some people were given letters. Some people were actually given letters. Thank you for your service. Signed. XYZ name up there. Signed.
I think it's unfair.
Goodbye.
It's unfair.
You think it's unfair?
Yeah. I think it's unfair that the unvaccinated sanitation workers could go back to work and then you have custom workers who are home. Are we going to revise the whole law, the whole bill, the whole act?
They have to look at what is happening in the country, what is happening in the rest of the world. They are working in accordance with advice from the World Health Organization and other health agencies. We are not operating on a standalone. So these things take time. The assurance has been given that if we get to the point, not if, when we get to the point where COVID-19 is no longer a concern, so the vaccine would no longer be a major requirement by law for the frontline workers, then we're going to look at the books. We're going to look at the positions that are available. We're going to look at the positions that are available. Because those positions that were filled, and PM said it when he was in here with us, if you hired somebody to replace someone who did not take the COVID-19 vaccine at the time that it was a requirement for the job, unfair or not, are you going to fire that person and rehire the person who was unvaccinated? Isn't it now unfair on the person new in that position when they didn't really do nothing wrong? So I feel that is what is happening. They're looking at the positions that have not been filled.
So it's a case where we get rid of Crystal because Crystal didn't take the vaccine. And then we realize, wait, Crystal, nobody could fill Crystal's shoes. Nobody can do that work.
So let's,
nobody ain't willing to take up that work.
It's crazy.
So that is the situation here. Another question is for the unvaxxed persons, are they going to go back to work?
Mm-hmm.
And when you do go back to work, what are the demands you're going to make?
Mm-hmm.
Because you
don't
show yourself for me now. You don't show yourself for me.
They can't make any demands.
Why?
They can't make any demands.
Trust
they can't
me,
go back and say, I need a higher salary.
You're in a position like that. Trust me.
Are you really?
Yeah.
You know what they're going to do? Well, we can't do that right now. So is either come back with what you had before or you just leave. If those are the muscles that were flexed earlier, you don't think they could flex them again at this time?
Nah.
Yes, sir. You watch and see. They ain't going to get no new benefits.
I don't feel that, man. I don't feel that way. I feel like my people would come and make some demands, you know? I want an extra this summer salary.
Okay.
I want some better benefits.
Right.
I don't think we're just going just walk back in and just
if they do that and they look at the ripple effects. If they do that and they are given, for example, a raise in salary or some other benefit, then other folks who were in the same position as they were would want the same thing. I do not think that the government can afford, one, struggling to pay salaries, two, struggling to keep our heads above water. We still in a pandemic. It has not officially been ended. Plus, we coming out of the volcanic eruption and a host of other things. Curbing the economy, now the war. I don't think we're in a position to offer any increase to anybody at all. But we'll see how it plays out. Now, making reference to the statutory rules and order. Employees to be vaccinated against COVID-19. Right? Healthcare employees, permanent secretaries and heads of departments, teachers appointed to public educational institutions, assisted private schools or public schools, ancillary staff employed within public educational institutions or public schools, employees of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Community College, members of the RSVGPF, so all police officers, a few of them left, prison staff within the meaning of the Prisons Act Cap 393, public officers within the Passport and Immigration Services Department, I think you mentioned that, Customs and Excise Department, you definitely mentioned that, House of Assembly, and the Environmental Health Division of the Public Health Department. And finally, employees employed by the St. Vincent and Grenadines Port Authority.
Sanitation fall under.
Wait now, I gotta tell you what you fall under. Port Authority, Argyle International Airport Company Limited, or employed to perform duties at an airport or a seaport. So those are all the people who fell under the bracket of those people who had to be vaccinated against COVID-19 in order to hold on to their jobs. Now, this is what they're telling us after. You could go back to work. Sanitations could go back to work because they should not have been sent home in the first place. So who made the error of sending them home in the first place? Who told them, y'all get out of here? You're not allowed to come on the compound. You're not allowed to work. You're not going to get a salary. And as a matter of fact, let me know when I get vaccinated so you could come back to work. Who told them that? Where did that instruction come from? Who misinterpreted the requirements? Now who? Who should I go to if I were an unvaccinated sanitation worker and say, you have caused me a lot of emotional stress? Who? Come on, man. Let me read this thing here for you. One of two. Minister, this one coming from IWN. Two of them coming from them. Minister of Health, Sinclair Jimmy Prince, says that COVID-19 vaccines should not have been mandated for sanitation workers.
Why?
Why not? They're health workers, aren't they? And it said here clearly, public officers within, I'm assuming, probably not good to assume, but the only place I could put the sanitation workers is under that. Public officers within the Environmental Health Division of the Public Health Department. They work within the Public Health Department, don't they? So who made the error?
Is it an error or something that's changed now? Like, okay, we realize these positions not being filled. We need workers. These are the only workers willing to do the job.
Because it's a dirty job that pays well. And remember to do that. I do not think that you have to go through significant training. I don't think so. All right, I'm subject to correction.
All I want to know is what has changed. What make it change?
Mm-hmm. You go wait long
change?
for that.
What made the change?
Mm-hmm.
What make you say, okay, you guys can come back to work now? That's all I want to know. Why?
Prince said that the government would have to pay the sanitation workers who have been off the job for failing to take the vaccine since the mandate came into effect. The minister said the development does not mean. So the answer is no. Are they going to drop the others? No. It does not mean that the government is backing away from its COVID-19 vaccine requirement for frontline and essential workers. An error was made and we are correcting it. How often they correct their errors? So you have to give them kudos for correcting the error. How often do they do that?
When it benefits them.
Uh-oh.
Exactly.
Who said that?
When it benefits them.
It benefits the employee too, no?
Why? Because you're going to give me back my job.
Get back at work.
Which I was out of for a couple months. I probably found different employment now.
That's probably say if they wish.
Exactly. I probably turned the entrepreneur now. I'm probably doing my own stuff. And then because you don't have anyone now to fill these positions, you want me to come back?
Yeah.
Trust me, it wouldn't have been that easy.
Come back. All right, here's one. Good morning. I have a question regarding the sanitation workers returning to work. What happened to their years of service? Would they retain their years of service?
That is the other thing.
Oh, yes.
That's the other thing. Because are you going to trick us now and then give us a new contract?
They can't be given a new contract they should.
I
think it's a given.
There's a lot of questions there.
They should have asked. This is February 23rd. They should have asked all those questions.
I think the ball is in the sanitation workers' court and they just know how they're going to play it. Yep.
I hope you... Sorry. I almost said I hope you are in contact with your union, but Depends on which union you're under, you fall under.
What you're trying to say? Some unions are not capable of.
Some unions were in full agreement of the requirement. Some unions were not. Some unions, more specifically PSU and the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Teachers Union, were very adamant that it was wrong and should not have been done. They took to the streets of Kingstown to air their views, and we see how that played out a few times. So I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure which union would really take up the mantle and confidently speak on their behalf. But it's worth a try. It is worth a try. Good morning to Nicola. All right. What has changed? Nobody wants the position, so they have to ask back for the old workers.
Exactly.
Here's another one. The unions will never, and never in capital letters, take this time to force any change now.
Why though?
They have lost all credibility. All of them. Even CTAW. Wow. That is something else. That is something else. That is a problem that we also have here, unions. The perception is that this is just so sad. Whoosh. The person say, oh, look at the minimum wage. Hello? Don't start me up. Don't start us up this morning. Don't start us up. The perception is that the unions take a political side, or they appear to take a political side depending on the issue that is raised. Even though the issue might be legitimate, people like to put unions in political boxes. That is unfortunate, because if it is a case where they really need to, and they have a justified reason to raise a point, they're not really going to get the support. That's the reality too, yeah? Another unfortunate thing in this place. Look at workers' representation, which the stories, man. The stories.
Is the Labour Department going to come into play here?
Well, that is an avenue. They could check there. There's another one, right? The government of SVG is allowed. The development comes even as the High Court is slated to rule on a legal challenge of the vaccine mandate brought by 2 public sector unions. So the unions are taking the government to court. They have been successful in the past, and they're confident that they're going to be successful again. So they're challenging the government, all those people who were sent home unfair. I don't think it's a coincidence, yeah? I'm going to wrap this up right now. Thank you for joining the live. Oh, Lord have mercy. Here's another one. There is none. You ask about the Labor Department, there is none. They side always with employers. We as a people have no voice. Who are the union reps? It's the wake-up call on Extreme.